for high JC News, Mima Oya Kwaba, Ahadia latest and hot news and Kwa Aremeyaw Bremo. And until so we subscribe to channel idea, but more say over subscribe. The other say over click the subscribe button. Now what barely notification. We have video for be upload no. When the first person I want sa ebeka a video. Afe we are now like video. Give us a thumbs up na fe. Share ma wo foforo so na when you be here na wo hu ensemo a ekoso Ghana memoir. Afi yembura ye ensemo abeto yepno so. Eye Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa MP for Northton wode ensemo tudwa efa eye ora operation recover all loot. Ye nyina nim eye John Dramani Mahama oye ne campaign or betudwa se wana fa ba isika chese wana wi aban ne ma de wana ba wana beche eye sankofo nya na wana gisane mani nyina. Na no na mane de eye operation recover all loot ababetudwa. Nano na Samuel Okudzeto ablakwa ona ya fa no chairman a woda sa committee ya no operation recover all loot ora no na Okudzeto ablakwa edi ensemo tuja wakasa fa ora no ho ama wada nsem edi na NPP fo bia wano so support sa ora wada nyina edi na wode ensem dodo na ara na atuja ententemara yenko Okudzeto ablakwa akachi no kasa o Net2 TV wode ensemo tuja yenko ti ni nsema wode atuja no yenti no.
It's important to place Ora in its proper context.
Okay.
So His Excellency the President-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, decided to set up a preparatory team towards the implementation of Ora, which stands for Operation Recover All Loot. You will recall that during the campaign, President Mahama rolled out a raft of anti-corruption measures. A key plank was oral, but within the gamut of anti-corruption initiatives he will be implementing is also constitutional reform. He has talked about the need to strengthen Parliament so that it can carry out its oversight. He has never been a fan of this majority of ministers coming from Parliament. He takes the view that it weakens Parliament. It doesn't free parliamentarians to really be independent to carry out their oversight. So it's one of the reforms he's proposing. He is also proposing, as Ghanaians are aware, the need for the long-standing public officials code of conduct to finally be approved and brought into fusion. For a long time it's been in the works and it has not received any approval from both the executive and Parliament. And you have civil society organizations consistently, raise concern about that. And they have done a lot of work. Civil society and Shraj have done a lot of work, but it's left with leadership, the executive and then Parliament taking it up so that we can have a code of conduct for public officials. So that's one of the major planks to expect. Another key initiative of President-elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the pledge that within the first 120 days he will kickstart processes that will lead to the prohibition of his appointees and politically exposed persons from purchasing state assets. He takes the view that a lot of the state capture we have seen is because politicians and politically exposed persons set eyes upon state assets, and state assets which are vested under our care. We set eyes upon them, we covet them, and we, come up with all kinds of sweetheart deals to really have them for ourselves. And research has shown that if you take out the politicians and politically exposed persons, more than 80% of this, sale of state assets, sometimes under all kinds of guises, that we are doing redevelopment, we are doing redesigning and all of that, we are divesting, it has all kinds of names, that whole practice, which has been a canker, that is really robbing this country of prized assets, is going to stop once and for all. So the President-elect has all of these raft of anti-corruption measures to deal with this hydra-headed challenge of corruption, which is a mass murder, which is denying the Ghanaian people resources for development. And so, as a preparatory step in transition, he decided to set up this preparatory team, the oral team, and he identified 5 Ghanaians, which we are really humbled that he selected as the confidence that he has reposed in us. You have the Venerable Daniel Domlevo, the former Auditor General of the Ghana Audit Service, who was hounded out. Rather unfortunately, the Supreme Court has held that you should never have done that. That what you did to Daniel Domlevo was totally your government. Was high-handed, was capricious, and you should never have engaged in that. Then you have COP Kofi Boakye, a respected and distinguished, senior police official who is really, it remains a mystery how he never became IGP. He was
and the lawyer.
One of the most sought after. He's also a senior lawyer. You do know that in 2008, when he graduated from law school, he was the best graduating law student receiving the Saba Prize. Then you also have the distinguished Raymond Acha, the ace investigative journalist. And then you have the activist and lawyer Martin Pebu, and my humble self as the chief servant of the committee. We have started work in earnest. We have rolled out our interactive platforms. And I can confirm to you, Doc, that we have received more than 700. Yes, more than 700.
700.
More than 700, yes. As at yesterday when we received a briefing from the call center, more than 700. So people are actively using www.oralgh.org. That's the web address where you can go and put in your information, provide evidence of any wrongdoing, any corruption-related matter, state capture-related matter, and we will put together that evidence so that when an Attorney General is appointed, we'll hand over all of that. People are also using the toll-free number, which is 0800 900 111. 0800 900 111. Others are sending emails through public@oralgh.org. And so all of these interactive platforms are active. And I want to use this opportunity to commend all the volunteers. I mean, Ghanaians are so passionate about oral that IT experts came together and did this for us for free. I can imagine that if friends had done this, there will have been a whole commissioning
of elections,
of an app. There will have been a major. What we saw you commissioning apps every day, but all these interactive apps, no cost to the state, there's no fanfare, and I am glad that the firewalls are so strong. It is quite strange also that the IT guys tell us that on a daily basis, some people are trying to attack, the website. Hackers want to bring it down, but so far it's been resilient, and I commend the IT volunteers for what they have done. Now, there has been a lot of talk about, whether this whole thing is legal and, does it not undermine institutions and all of that. The president-elect has explained that this oral team is not usurping the mandate of any of the existing institutions. We are not usurpers. Indeed, if you look at what the president-elect is doing, he wants to show the Ghanaian people that he's committed to Operation Recover or Loot. That right in the period of transition, he is not waiting. Because you see, this is one matter, because of the daily scandals, how this became the most scandal-riddled government. So many reports of state capture. And the billions, the last time we selected just about 30 of the scandals, we have lost about $18.4 billion. Just by selecting 30 of them. If you read the 2023 Auditor General's report, Doc, the Auditor General reveals that in 2023 alone, this country lost 8 billion Ghana cedis, according to the Auditor General. The Auditor General appointed by President Akufo Addo. And the Auditor General reveals that this 8 billion, he says that they are considered recoverable. So this 8 billion for 2023 alone are recoverable, according to the Auditor General. So there is clearly a justification for oral, and that is why all over the country, the Ghanaian people are passionate about oral, and they want the president-elect to recover the loot, which a few, clearly in the looting brigade, decided to punish this country with, inflict levels of looting that has never been seen in the history of our country. Now, it is also important to emphasize that there are so many advantages with President Mahama's masterstroke. This is a masterstroke because immediately it sends a clear caution to all his appointees, all those who are lobbying and jostling and wanting to serve in his government. They should know that he is so committed to the fight against corruption. And when he says there will be no looting, there will be no looting. And he wants, right from the get-go, everybody to be well advised. What this also does is that it brings coordination, because he says that he was receiving a lot of messages, a lot of, reports from people who have evidence of looting. And he thought that there should be a central coordinating point. That is what this oral team does. The other advantage also is that it prevents, what we see during transitions. We saw it in 2000, we saw it in 2008, 2016, where people who, have targeted certain loots decide that they'll take the law into their own hands and go and reclaim them, as a sign that, power has changed and we are taking back the loot. Now, this brings in a lot of civility and due process. So whatever evidence you have, don't take the law into your own hands. Don't invade those assets. Just present your petition, present your evidence. You can use the toll-free numbers, you can use emails, you can go to the website, and it brings a lot of civility. Everybody is, safe. There is no high-handedness and all of that. So it's such a masterstroke. And when you think about it carefully, there is so much wisdom. And once again, you see the president-elect's, experience and his dexterity being brought to bear in this instance. Then, Doc, you have also heard people say that, is this not a sign that President Mahama does not trust existing state institutions, and that President Mahama should have just directed people to go to the police or EOCO or OSP? There's a lot of that. I've heard our colleagues in the NPP say that. It is important to emphasize that all these institutions have existed. But you see, let's not deny the fact that over the last 8 years, what we saw was a climate that was so unfavorable towards those who want to blow the whistle on corruption, on state capture, on wrongdoing. They are hounded. You remember what happened to investigative journalists like Manasseh Azuri-Awuni, hounded out of this country. There's the other one, Ahmed Hussein Swale. I don't want to, remind the family of their pain, who was assassinated. There's been so many cases where whistleblowers have rather become victims. Even in our work, oversight work in Parliament, what we have been subjected to, all kinds of attacks, the abuse of the judicial system. People have come after us. It's as if we are rather the bad guys, those who set out to expose corruption. So there hasn't been a climate that encourages people to really boldly walk to our existing state institutions. They will pay a heavy price once President Akufo Addo remains president, and we have seen that, time without number. Now, Doc, those who are also saying that, what's really their locus, what's their legal mandate, why should they be the ones collecting evidence, coordinating evidence, when the president-elect has stated clearly that we are not investigators, we are not prosecutors. Doc, if you read the Whistleblower Act, Act 720, the Whistleblower Act of 2006, it is interesting that this Whistleblower Act encourages Ghanaians with information on impropriety, on any wrongdoing, on any matter to do with corruption, state capture, to report to a number of people. And aside listing the institutions, under Act 720, whistleblowers can report to their member of parliament. Doc, is here, Section 3 of Act 720. They can report to even their chief, because human beings are different. Some may have the information but may be timid. They are not even sure what will happen to them, don't even know where to go to. It's here that you can even report to the head of your family, an elder, a head of a recognized religious body, a member of a district assembly, a minister of state. It's all here under Section 3 of Act 720. So as for getting assistance as a whistleblower, our law encourages it. And if you read Article 41F of the Constitution, it stated clearly that our obligations as citizens must be a conscientious effort to help prevent waste, to help prevent corruption, abuse of state resources. And in our own way, we should ensure that we can do what is in our power to stop that. That's what good citizenship is about. When you read Article 41 of our Constitution. So the president-elect has not done anything. In any case, his president-elect is not taking over. You know, he doesn't have an attorney general yet. He wants to hit the ground running. And the statement announcing oral was very, very clear that this is a priority area for the president. When the president campaigned across the length and breadth of this country, chiefs, queens, the youth, women, Ghanaian people across all professions, workers, professionals, all of them said that, look, we are voting for you because we want the loot recovered. As we speak, if you go through some of the classic cases that shocked this country, it's a tall list. National Cathedral, $58 million to dig a hole, the world's most expensive pit. As we speak, people like Carrie Summers are keeping our $6 million. Are people saying that the incoming president should not put up best effort, a patriotic effort to recover this loot? I mean, what would that say about him? That would be a betrayal of the people. Why should Carrie Summers keep our $6 million? The inflationary extortionist pricing that David Jáil engaged in. When Bishop Dakiwad Mills was resigning, read his resignation letter. He said that, look, as a priest, he has put up magnificent edifices for far less. And at the time, we have spent $30 million. So why should $58 million just give us that pit? Unfortunately, there's a Shraj report, a copy of which I have here, which states that that whole project is illegal. We didn't get value for money. They didn't follow the procurement laws of our country. So, are we saying we should ignore this Shraj report? Are we saying that all those who have, imagine what $58 million can do. What we were discussing earlier in the education space alone, $58 million will solve all those problems. And there will be a lot of change. Those fraudsters who came to deceive our ministers that they can get us a sky train, and they were paid $2 million. You are saying we shouldn't retrieve it? Those who took $12 million that they were going to build Palugu Dam, when we went on a parliamentary visit, we saw a bush with all kinds of animals having a field day within a $12 million environment. It didn't look like a well set up zoo, by the way. $12 million. Ejapa, royalties, another $12 million. You have the governor of the Bank of Ghana printing in excess of 80 billion Ghana cedis illegally, in violation of our laws. Where is the 80 billion cedis that was printed? So we are talking about staggering amounts, way in excess of what we are begging the IMF for and subjecting ourselves to all kinds of conditionalities. Those monies, if we're even able to retrieve 10%, imagine what that will mean for this economy. And this is a president coming to power who has made a social compact with the people. We will give you Women's Development Bank. How are we going to fund it? No fee stress. Public university students don't have to pay admission fees. How are we going to fund it? He says that he would eliminate double track, build more dormitories, more classrooms, complete the e-blocks so that congestion will be addressed and there will be space for our students, so there will be no need for double track. Where is he going to get all the monies to do that if he does not go after the looters? And look, let's be honest, we all know that over the last 8 years, this country was looking like anything apart from a democracy. It was looking like a lootocracy, a kakistocracy, a kleptocracy. That's what we saw on a daily basis. If you come to state capture, Doc, the number of families, and we are still receiving petitions, people who suffered demolitions. I always weep for the Lomote Adote family.
I hope you're also mindful of bogus informants.
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
We are. That is why we insist on evidence, because we want to put together a credible report. You know, the Lomote Adote family, the GIS, you know, attempted state capture. Labadi Beach Hotel. And let me celebrate Labadi Beach Hotel, the management. They did something this week, and they have to be commended. But of course, it's because of how the Ghanaian people voted. You know, they went to court, and they have successfully secured an injunction against the takeover of their beachfront by the Blaze, Mr. Kwame Blaze.
Really?
Yes. They've secured an injunction.
This is public notice?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Which court was it?
A high court. A high court. Yeah.
I saw it a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they've done a great job, and they now feel liberated. Now they are not scared.
So they have their beachfront.
So at least they have an injunction, and they have served notice that they would, you know, go all out, you know, to recover their beachfront. Remember that already there was an attempt to sell the hotel, which we successfully fought and resisted. But then, before the sale of the hotel, many people didn't know, on the blind side of many Ghanaians, they had lost their beachfront. So they've been under consistent attack from state capture vampires for many years. You know, and I am glad that thanks to how the Ghanaian people voted, now all of these victims of state capture are so emboldened, they are coming forward. Some are going to court, you know, to have these assets reclaimed. So this is not going to be a witch hunt. Some people are trying to present us as terrorists, you know.
Men on broom.
You know, scarecrows.
There's no men in black.
No.
Men on broom.
You know, no, I mean, if you have been looted, you don't have in your possession anything that belongs to all of us, then you have hijacked it for yourself. You have nothing to fear. We should actually be the best of friends.
Yeah.
So let me use this opportunity to commend NPP stalwarts like Mr. Obri Boahim, who has stated publicly that he will even support the oral team, that President Mahama should be celebrated for establishing oral.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's been widely publicized. Obri Boahim, yes.
I see.
Yeah.
I thought it was
No.
hearsay.
No, I heard him myself. I heard him. He granted an interview, you know, and he said, look, he supports Aura.
So can I add my voice?
And that it should be encouraged. Then there is the former NPP MP, Edward Enin, for Obuasi East, who has said that he is also willing. He even has more information on where the loot is being hidden, that he will direct Aura team members there. Then you have another former NPP chairman. There are quite a number of them who have said that this is in the national interest and should be supported. Yes. So I am really, you know, surprised that if you really say that you're a citizen who loves the country, who loves the protection of our resources, particularly in this time of bankruptcy, of insolvency, where we've been shut out of the international financial market, we are forcing people to take financial haircuts, and we have an opportunity to retrieve billions of dollars. You'll be standing in the way. That doesn't make you a patriot. You cannot claim to love our country when you are trying to, stop a genuine national effort at retrieving loot. And you know that all of us at our first meeting, because initially there was some propaganda that I saw NPP communicators circulating that we will be paid 100,000 cedis per sitting and all of that. I don't know where they got that from. We have all resolved that we are working gratis. It's pro bono service for our country. So there is no bill going to be presented to any
except
government,
for
whether now or future government. No supply.
You need computers.
It's all voluntary. We have laptops, we have A4 sheets. It's all sacrificial. We don't want it to ever be said that the people who said they were going to help us retrieve the loot, they themselves became looters.
All right.
So be rest assured, the people of Ghana, this is a sacrificial effort, and I have enormous respect for the eminent Ghanaians who have been selected to support us in this effort. And we commend President Mahama, and we will do a great job. I want to thank also a lot of organizations who have reached out to us. Some want to do it behind the scenes. Some also say that they want a lot of publicity, like what the Media Foundation for West Africa people did on the National Service scandal. So they've
submitted that, yes, but they've gone to OSP already.
Yeah, but according to them, really no action is happening at that front. But in these matters, it doesn't matter to have multiple institutions look into these matters, particularly when this is just evidence gathering, a conveyor belt, if you like. So we commend all of these groups, including those that have lined up, and a number of civil society organizations and investigative journalists who are all supporting the effort. We will thank them.
Operation Recover All Looted Properties. Aye. I'm coming here. Sasari Ekano. Oh, I know Abe coming now. What we say, Yama or Motam free you, Tam free you, man. Say a statistic could be.
Daddy, me won't be
very good. So I don't see you. Sometimes some of us in NPP, as I said, we are panicking about what I said. And I don't aura. Adena aura. Because aura no, or time frame. It can be from 6th March 1957 till today. It is possible. Because we have definition of aura no. Almost Operation Recover All Looted Properties. So look, there's no time frame. So, MPP, why do you panic? And our NDC, why do you panic? MPP, why do you jubilate? NDC, why do you jubilate? There's no time limit. That is point number one. Yeah, Mr. Man, I mean, from Fair was one. Let me matter. Why? Because there's no time limit. Any time frame. And I need scope to say, all right, I'm not targeting MPP from Kwan. No, I'm saying, all right, I'm not targeting NDC from Kwan. So, we are back on the Operation Recover All Looted Properties. So what you want to want? Master properties in a handful of properties. I am money Ghana properties. Maybe in the recover. So be it. Because I never about the Nana Aura. Okudzeto Black Aura. When a double voca Aura. Ofosuka Aura. Man, you are panicking. Gabby. Look, go back again into law. You will catch Samuel Okudzeto Black and another versus the Attorney General and others. Or that case, 2010 Supreme Court of Ghana law report. 2010, Supreme Court of Ghana. In that particular case, Okudzeto black and Omanebo Amagidi say, Jacobese Belamti, assassin or Toyen. Oh, yeah, so it was a looted property. That was so when the matter went to the Supreme Court and they examined everything, it turned out said, even though a abandoned property, no, there was a law beyond 1999.
Okay,
I'm my Christian Cranks, I didn't be told. It is a Jackie Tony, you know, Otono Quampasso. But Okudzeto black one no man woman. Nobody didn't hear that to send a naked tabby. So, one was Orano, and one Ebino. Now, Mamma some of you. So, all conquer. Who do 37 military hospital? No, I call Elwak. Who do Elwak? Yes, and you will call Bawumia Campaign. Over this Sunday, Jones Mensa estate, you know, I was Sabinkum. Over from. Over the fat overhead be once overhead be all. But I now share. But that's me. Hello.
Nana me also meet you, pa.
Over Asia. Oko when you want to run about you. Run about and over right to swap. Over cost printers. Oko street over cost printers. On the right, estate at Danibishisho. It is alleged that. NDC top guru, NDC financier. That very land, to the best of my knowledge, I have said that for no one myself. No, I said that for a free year. If Sabai one from near a said that for a free year, no, it should be the private person here. The land should go back to the inclined form. I think that's a way la for there. Now, so walk around. That now, Mrs. Sino during the NDC, President Mahama time, simple, you have a loose interpretation. Say you looted property, make a cat most be at you. On Abana Sassy, Abana is a second for. It's a concrete for us, Yadama NDC financier be, or the see estate. Operation recover those looted India. So I don't think I can say. Operation recover all looted properties now. I just some people from Kwanjuma or say, yeah, didn't be back. What and how? What? Now look, I don't think people who are in this year. Or say, yeah, or see, Jobo, yeah, Jew. Because me, man, told me, and Nora, Echi. So called Jema, or boyfriend and Puma. So Puma. That's all the problem, qua. Omauto to Abuba. No, Mamma Casa to Abubano. 80 Obama warning said, Tuna Yabetono. A better man boko to Jemu. Yanto, a Horma or Muka, or Senior Mamonto. Obito Muka, or Simonto. Wamutu Tuna, Oberdufian, Nenamania, one and Papa, one and either one and a bell. Son of Banayan. So then this is saying, Aura. Yes, mother, for your no, if I have my own way, now come here, customer for my NPP.
Okay.
We are spokesperson, my NPP. And I'm going what's the more you're all around? You're pencil. But yes, Remo. Mama, to say, yeah, witch hunting. Yes, Remo. Yeah, all around. Mama, son, in fact, it is a double salary, and come home. Because they all fall on the aura. So why is it that if everybody go say, oh, MPP, don't panic. All of the oh, yeah, because it is good. Wow, because they are all saying that looted properties are abandoned. Looted properties are abandoned. Woman can say looted properties are NDC. Woman can say looted properties are MPP. Woman can say looted properties are CPP. But looted properties are abandoned. So why don't we say, well, we welcome it? And then you're making sure, say, Uncle, we chanting. No, but you're making sure, say, double salary, no, and no, mama, who call cantonment, sir. Your area be all call a coffee shop or no.
Aye.
This is one of those classes in Abanibia, as and Kweku Annan for and some of these plots were sold in 2014, 2015, 2016. I don't know ya people nya won ko a panic it is it is about them cromfo jamu de me ana. Why? And how? Get this get into airport junction. Service station do ho any na chi any na nim. Koshe record NDC top gurus in Ghana. And a total science. So you come on your aura and no. Ko sinane appreciate opposite sinane appreciate for belly top. Koshe among for than how much is you. A lot of NDC top gurus. Koshe so why should so everyone go say oh maybe President Mahama don't aura. Maybe me from sure. Let's accept, let's agree, let's cooperate. Not a young check, not young Hunia, every year, and it's been better boy. And Cobri Boy, as all can say, or I'm a man. Not the W media, I speak, send your imagine me. No, what Yamian or Pebiasin himself, men can't bonnet, me near President Mahama atem, me near Akufo Addo, me near NPP atem, me near NDC atem. Me cannot cry that boy in your man. So why, if I say, oh, what? I welcome it. Mama Nemra, me and Fifty Funani. No, you know, you somebody. So if I say this thing, sir, but let's go to Kumasi. Call Kumasi, call the beer on Rattler Park and turn around the Rattler Park. Development of my union. All those lands were sold during the NDC era. So what is the big deal? It is a Ghana for Numbiso Amoya Ora. Like I saw, Yapoma Basso. It is a good initiative. We welcome it. We will support it. We will join it. The moment we say, near Akika Binunano, ye be and free beam. Moment for you. And that will can forward. Can you continue to live in a country? Now, minor, Chanano was a president, Mahama, president elect Mahama or Kata. Afenyo Markins. Maybe not who yet. Maybe not who yet. Ye kodi na se mesa naba. Ye kodi na. Me awoye. At the same time, LPP time about woyo misoso. Incident bi siya mame wura hoye. Mame ma incident bi. Now omo pese omo ton woyo mi property.
Aye.
Na the liquidator for UT Bank no. Oko ye interpleader someone. NPP time. My point liquidator. Kennedy Agyapong catch them liquidator so na my point wo munyina. The brave yenyi wo munyi. Obi antie no, obi amfi no, obi amuya no. Ana liquidator na kotiam. Abra, wo yo me assess liquidator of UT Bank so. Wo kotiam. Na colleges Benny ni ruling na de man no. Ko ruling no enka baby bia nka de che ya pe liquidator no o terminate my appointment. Because it was that was short, the community. So I think that sometimes as a country, you want some bomb pop. Now you're not going to come for no, you're not going to mob. Because you're not going to come in one. That could not going to from time. And this in you know, because oh, where make us a for or Rashi, the Burma from US, from Germany, we are not going to come in.
Baba nana wo ze dan yi a amanyo de ubedi aban a ubeta free bi etia na nkofo se na wo ban mufo na se ebi sika ketewa bi krafo bi nsase a wo se ye wo hye o mo ayemja
no see when I start oral in pushing NPP to go them when I say I support oral in pushing NDC to go them but when I say I support oral I am pushing Ghana first. Any matured mind must accept that fact. You must, if you're matured mind. I am pushing Ghana first. So when we push Ghana first, because all I know, some people for be better for the anymore, and this for be better. Obviously, in politics, no, obviously, NPP, obviously, NDC, and so what's up when I want to crack us, we look to this country. So why do you say, if I support Ora? Who did him attempt because you are MPP? Also, who praise him because you are NDC? And now condemn him because you are NDC. And now praise him because you are MPP. Because you know what they were near Bunu, didn't cry in your politics. And so Ghana, they are benefiting a lot. They are benefiting a lot. All today, the regional lands officers all over the country. Now we are are they doing politics? They are not doing politics. Or the regional lands commission board chairman, are they doing politics? They are not doing politics. But when you besa, so what is it that at all times you know become someone? They may know that the young way the pros and the cons, and the ultimate. Will it benefit Ghana as a country? President Mahama can so better ora. Many is our company. The many is a President Mahama can or so ora never started from her. I could do her. All of better ora. If I am the spokesperson, can be the president NDC for them. Oh, we accept it. We will support it. We will encourage it. But please let's make sure say any way something. Onya kasa pe abama nipa no obaba fam kakra ba ti kasa ya pre ya nya yipa no mana hodene we need to be flexible in a lot of these things. We should be politically mature. We should be politically mature. And it should be Ghana for. We should have an employment assistance. Then we will be plantation. We will be say, I mean, that's the crime I check on what. So I saw them to be caught as for me, woman, no enemy. The same one I made a man said, Mako pastoral center to be an army preaching. I think that would be good for me. Because all kind of criminal, now obeying 20, not what campus, everyone or Pecasado, everyone cried or support to Aura. NPP Lawyers Platform, and not me monitor NPP Lawyers Platform. And some are taking me to the clinic. 70 lawyers platform. Then you make a unity, and then you know what kind of opinion. Makasa MPP, Makasa NDC. And one lawyers platform, and your platform kitwa. And then so everyone saw support to lawyer, oh Munyana some or you better. Munyana doesn't make me some then I say some you better. Munyana some or you better. And that person may not even know my track record. From 2000 I come to 2004. No appointment. But 2006, maybe original chairman. 2006. So from 2017 to 2024, no appointment. I don't know your idea.
Yo waiting for winning and somewhere yeah Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa MP for North Tongue a year committee on one power a year friend Ora Operation Recover All Loot on the side chairman Emma ASA committee Nanuna Wada Assembly Eddie Afa a year Operation Recover All Loot a year Ora because so when you subscribe to channel idea but more than say or subscribe now face so like video and give us a thumbs up na share ma Ofori Atta when you be here say hadia latest and hot news and kwa enamide bremo so betimi otchere wadwen afaye some way nyina ho e comment box ni mu mobati minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.